Happy Friday. I have no idea what just happened, but something happened. So, this is hopefully the correct Facebook Live video. I'm not sure what happened earlier, but it just shut down. So, listen, this is Jesse with Rich Agent Coaching, and this is for realtors who get it. Truthfully, realtors who know that to earn, you have to first learn. Who want to get better, to succeed, and to be a force in your local market. See, if you were anything like me, I mean, at all, you're probably a bit frustrated because you know that you're capable of so much more, but you just don't necessarily know how. You know, trust me, I get that. See, that was me for 10 long, long years. So, look, I've been challenged to do a Facebook Live daily, Monday through Friday, on a topic that you can use, and you can use it today, now, for the breakthrough that you've been looking for. So here we go. Let's pick up from where we left off, shall we? You see, this is the last part five of a five-part series on how to take more listings. Now, maybe I should have said how to increase your closing ratio because that's really my goal. I mean, for many people, they have listing or they have potential sellers. So they have the opportunity to go on listing appointments. But the challenge is, well, how many are you walking out with? So if you go to 10 listing appointments, are you walking out with two? Were you walking out with four? I don't know. My goal for you, though, is to go into 10 and come out with seven, come out with eight, come out with nine. And the reason I'm not saying go into 10 and come out with 10 is, hey, sometimes you get there, and this happens. You get there, and everything that led up to you going into that listing appointment in the first place, well, something's changed. It could be that maybe you get there and the people have changed their mind. You get there and what they've told you is not accurate. There's a host of things that could happen. But one thing that I just realized, and I wanted to make sure I covered this before we get into today's topic, the last topic, which is the close, is truthfully, what is it? Well, are you going out before the appointment to look at the home? You see, a lot of real estate agents, they'll get it. They'll have someone that they're speaking with. Hey, yeah, we'd like to sell our home. Great, let me come over. I'd like to meet with you, take a few notes, take a look at your house. Then I'll go get some research done, and then we'll come back and go over it. Now, there's nothing wrong with that if you like spinning your wheels and doing less business. I mean, if that's okay with you, hey, by all means, keep doing that. But if you really want to be more efficient and more effective and to really look at or be looked at and seen as the professional, ask all of the right questions in advance. That's the purpose in the second part of or excuse me, the first part of the listing or taking the listing. This little short video is asking questions before you come out. Ask all of those questions. And one of the things that we go over in my inner circle with my coaching members is here's a checklist. Here's some things to go over to ask those potential sellers. Because as you go through the questions, you might determine, does it make sense for me to go out even in the first place? But if you ask questions and you ask the right questions, you'll get enough information that it would be able to, well, you'd be able to now put a great presentation together that's accurate without having to go out and actually see the property beforehand. So that's more efficient for you. It's more efficient for your seller. It allows them to get the home on the market sooner, and it allows you to now get it under contract, getting them what they need. And as a result of that, getting what you want, and that is that sale and ultimately the commission. Now, bear in mind, remember what I just said. I don't know if you heard that or not, um, but put your clients and your customers, however you'd like to think of them, put your clients' needs ahead of your own. And if you do, they'll get it. It will draw them to you like a moth to a flame. And they get it. They'll be sharing you and your info and what you've done for them with their friends much more easily and readily than if they get it that or start to get that feeling that maybe you're after the commission, not so much helping them. So I just wanted to make sure that I covered that because a lot of agents do spin their wheels needlessly by going out trying to bond with the prospect. They'll go out and they'll look at the home and they'll see pictures of kids or family and they go, "Oh, is that your children? Yeah, I've got children too." Or, "Oh, is this your dog? Well, I've got a dog too." And that's okay. It's kind of old school, you know? And after a while, people kind of like, yeah, you start sounding like a used car salesman. And by the way, if there's any used car salesman watching this, no offense, but you know what I mean. So let's get into the very last part because here's what we've covered so far. Where did the lead come from? Were they a good quality lead or maybe not as good of a quality, which either can be fine, but where did they come from? How did you qualify them? I mean, just like you're going to qualify a buyer before you're going to start showing them property, you need to qualify that seller or prospective seller before you go out to meet with them. Are you preparing for any potential objections that come up? Which, by the way, you should be preparing every day. Read those objections and the way you would like to handle them every single day. And if anybody's watching this and you'd like to get a copy of, I would love the opportunity to send you a little short report on how to stop getting objections. Just drop me a line, direct message me or private message me here on Facebook, and I'll be glad to, with an email address, and I'll be glad to send you that. No strings attached, just send it to you. Now, we also went into a pre-listing package. What is it that you're sending them in advance that positions you as the obvious expert, their obvious choice? It's something that would, I'm not going to say make them feel foolish not to hire you, but that's kind of the process I wanted to have them sort of logically conclude from looking this over. It's like, gee whiz, look at everything that this guy does, how well thought out and how prepared and how this package is put together. It would be really silly to choose some of these other people that just haven't sent us anything. How do you show up? And do you follow a well-written, a well thought out script or set of notes? I thought I'd show you an example. These are my interview notes. So this is what I followed. I had it with me and it says interview notes at the top. Listen, here's something I wanted to follow up with, and then we'll get into the close. And I'm just going to give you a couple of sample closes. There's a ton of them, but these are two that worked well for me, and I had them scattered throughout my listing presentation. So when you are there and you have your portfolio folder, your notebook open, and you have the interview notes, your listing presentation, however you'd like to think of it, you have it in front of you. A lot of people feel a little weird of having it in front of them because they're like, well, what if they ask what that is? That's perfect. I kind of did it so they would. You see, this is my listing presentation, and I've read over this many, many times. Every day I read it a minimum of once, generally twice every day. Whether I had a listing presentation scheduled that day or not, I still read it. I also read through about 25 to 30 objections and the way I wanted to handle them every day. And by the way, I read them every day, including weekends. Not that I was necessarily going to be running into them on a weekend, but I wanted them to go over it so many times that it came out much more naturally. Hopefully that makes some sense to you. But you see, if I've got those in front of me and I'm looking back down to refer to it to make sure I'm on track, I have had a couple of times people would ask, what are you doing? What is that? I said, oh, well, I've written down a series of questions because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I mean, the sale of your home is a pretty important sale I'm guessing it. I mean, it is for my other clients. Would that be right for you too? Well, yeah, it's a pretty important sale. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I was complete, I was appropriate, I didn't miss anything. So I wrote down a set of notes just to make sure I stay on track and I don't miss anything. I mean, did the other agents you've spoken with, did they not have that? And when I'm shaking my head and do it like that, you can see them. They're in their mind going, no, nobody's ever done that. I said, gosh, I don't know. I just wanted to make sure I was as complete for you as I possibly could be. So, and I just go right back to following the notes. So, it's never been a problem. It instantly elevates you above the competition because let me ask you, are you doing that now? I'm guessing the answer is no. I didn't either for the longest time until someone suggested that that's what I do. And it works amazingly well. It really truly does. Try it. Seriously. So, one of the ways to close is pretty simple, it's pretty blatant. When you get to the end of wherever makes sense for you in your listing presentation, I mean, you're welcome to a copy of mine. It's something that I get to and give to my coaching members. Is all we need to do now is simply sign the contract. And I'm, by the way, I've got the contract in my hand and I'm pointing to it. Or they already have it and I get to that piece of paper and I've gone through it. And so I'm pointing at it and going, well, you know, Mr. and Miss Smith, all we need to do now is simply sign the contract so I can help you get what you want in the time you want. Won't that be great? Now, by the way, you smile, you nod, and shut up. You see, God gave us all two ears and one mouth, and we should be using it in that proportion, right? We should do twice as much listening, half as much talking. As Zig Ziglar says, telling ain't selling. When you're asking questions, you're also the person that's controlling the conversation. So your listing appointment, your listing presentation, the one that you're following at the listing appointment, should have a series of great questions that lead to that logical conclusion, which is they hire you because you're the obvious expert. You're the natural, obvious choice for them. Now, there is another great close that I like a lot, and I wouldn't necessarily be pointing to this one on a piece of paper because sometimes it's just not, it's not really that point. You know, I'm kind of referring back to the listing appointment, the listing document at that point. But it could be something as simple as, well, all we need to do now is simply sign the contract, right? Just what I said. Okay, but sometimes it's not that at all. You may just have the opportunity to fall into, like as an example, you're going through and explaining to them again how you came up with the price. And you've gone through the CMA, they've looked at the numbers, and now they're starting to really understand that, yeah, what you're telling them is the right price, not really what they had in mind or what some of their family or neighbors had thought or even what they might have thought in their wildest dreams they could have received, but maybe you're bringing them down to reality, right? So you're looking at the numbers and going, so, you know, that's why I'm going to recommend, again, a price of blank based on what we know. And you keep pointing, by the way, to your CMA, the dollar amount that you would suggest they list at, a price of blank based on what we know. Do you want to list your home for that price today? Or you can say, will you list your home for that price today? Again, shut up. It is amazing how powerful silence can be. So listen, I hope this has helped. I'm sorry this is a little early in the morning here on Friday, and I guess I needed a little more coffee than I had started off with. So look, I sure hope you have a great Friday. I hope this is helpful for you. If you've got any listing appointments today or through the weekend, I hope it's something you can use to take more listings and take them now. By the way, remember, if you like this video, please check out more on my Facebook page. You can also see them at Rich Agent Coaching, the Facebook page, Rich Agent Coaching. However, for the mother load, including these and way more, please check out Rich Agent Coaching TV at YouTube. So listen, have a great weekend, and I'm looking forward to talking with you on Monday. Take care.